Hey there, music fans. Okay, let's do something very, very different from my usual fare. For any fans of the channel, you know that I like to do movie and TV breakdowns, but today I'm going to be dipping my toe into the world of music. Though new to my channel, not so new to me as an avid musician. It's not a plug, but the intro and outro to the videos are tracks that are written by me, so not exactly out of my wheelhouse here. Okay, so poor pitch of my credentials out of the way, let's get into the reason why we're here. This is an appreciation piece for a very talented artist. I'm of course talking about Ren. And today I'd like to take a look at the track, Hi Ren. This song was released in 2022, as of the making of this video, has amassed 48 million views over the last 2 years. So I think heralding him as an artist unappreciated in his own time is well out of the question. Just before we get into the song, I'd like to talk a little bit about the artist. Ren Gill, otherwise known as Ren, is a Welsh singer-songwriter who started out in a band called Trick the Fox. And bust in a band called The Big Push. I'm an Englishman in New York. Ren has become synonymous with mental health, which has become the bedrock of his music and career. And he is an advocate for spreading the word of the challenges of dealing with such things. Being a strong advocate, is it really any wonder that this massive hit is all about dealing with mental health and the voices inside our heads? This leads me into the intro of the video, where Ren is wheeled in a hospital gown. The orderly seems to be a butcher wearing a pig's mask. Meat for the grinder? The wheelchair and gown sets us up for the idea of a patient. When we think of hospitals and patients, the word vulnerable comes to mind, as we are often in a vulnerable state at these times. I also want to point out the room and the lighting. The paint cracking and the building is in a state of disrepair, far removed from the sterile environment of a hospital. Ren, our patient, is more likely to pick something up than to be cured from it. Finally, the lighting. There are 2 lamps behind him. The one on the left is bigger, but the one on the right, though small, is brighter. This also seems to cast a double shadow on the floor. The lamps and the shadows are showing us the theme of duality. Before a single chord is strummed or a lyric is uttered, I get the impression that we are inside of his head, and these lamps will soon represent each side of him. This clearly establishes that this is a piece about inner turmoil, of playing, working and living with the voices inside his head, of the calamity of his confidence and doubt fighting for control that becomes clearly evident. Ren introduces us to these concepts far before a lyric is even uttered. So taking the song as it's presented, 2 personalities vying for control, this is represented to us through the intro of the song. Split into 2 halves, the first riff is based around a more upbeat major scale played in a 4/4. This represents the norm. The 4/4 major scales are used a lot with pop music and can represent social conformity. While the second half, this doesn't conform so easily to a solid beat, and the notes feel a little more erratic with minor tones giving us a sense of unease. This is of course to present to us the listener a duality in the music, 2 sides fighting for control. This idea continues in the verses with the little voice inside his head, using an offbeat rhythm and using a slap technique to punctuate the more aggressive style. Whereas Ren's verses are accompanied by a softer, more melodic plucking style.
I've been taking some time to be distant. I've been taking some time to be still.
This continuing the duality that accompanies the lyrics. There is more fun to be had, but we'll talk about that a little later. After the intro, the song starts with a chorus. There are no lyrics, just... This symbolising, maybe he's going a little cuckoo. The song is of Ren talking to a little voice in his head, like he has the little devil and angel on his shoulders, but the angel is late to the party.
Hey, where's the other guy? Come on, you bastard, I'm late for work!
This leaves Ren to argue with the little devil, each verse being one speaking to the other.
Hi there, Ren. It's been a little while. Did you miss me? You thought you buried me, didn't you? Risky. Cause I always come back. Deep down you know that. Deep down you know I'm always in periphery. Ren, on your pleased to see me. It's been weeks since we spoke, bro. I know you need me. You're the sheep, I'm the shepherd. Not your place to lead me. Not your place to be biting off the hand that feeds me.
The implication here is that Ren has been trying to cut the voice out, not listening to it, and getting on with his life. It's about taking back control, and I especially like the sheep and shepherd comparison.
Hi, Ren. I've been taking some time to be distant. I've been taking some time to be still. I've been taking some time to be by myself since my therapist told me I'm ill. And I've been making some progress lately, and I've learned some new coping skills. So I haven't really needed you much, man. I think we need to just step back and chill.
Ren's retort is that he's getting help, and maybe a realisation that maybe the way to handle such things is to reach out. Already there is a strong lesson here, especially among men and boys who often struggle more with speaking out or telling anyone about how they feel.
Ren, you sound more insane than I do. You think that those doctors are really there to guide you? Been through this a million times. Your civilian mind is so perfect to always being lied to. Okay, take another pill, boy. Drown yourself in the sound of white noise. Follow this 10-step program, rejoice. All your problems will be gone. Fucking dumb boy.
The scathing remarks are based around gaslighting. The voice telling him the doctors are lying and don't have good intentions. This is based around warping his worldview and trying to control him. The relationship with himself is one of abuse.
Nah, mate, this time is different, man, trust me. I feel like things might be falling in place. And my music's been kinda doing bits too. Like I actually might do something great. And when I'm gone, maybe I'll be remembered for doing something special with myself. That's why I don't think that we should talk, man. Cause when you're with me, it never seems to help.
Ren is pleading with the negative thoughts and realising that his artistry may be a positive force. That it's okay to recognise his own self-worth. That his achievements may come to help others. If only he can overcome his doubts.
You think that you can amputate me? I am you, you are me, you are I am we are one. Split in two, that makes one, so you see. You gotta kill you if you wanna kill me. I'm not leftover dinner, I'm not scraps on the side. Oh, your music is thriving, delusional guy. Where's your top 10 hit? Where's your interview with Oprah? Where are your Grammys, Ren? Nowhere.
The voice in his head is taking on a new role in the relationship, transforming into a codependent language, making him think self-deletion may be the only way out and squashing his belief in what he's achieving.
Yeah, but my music's not commercial like that. I never chase numbers, statistics or stats. I never write hooks for the radio, they never even play me, so why would I concern myself with that? But my music is really connecting, and the people who find it respect it. And for me that's enough, cause this life's been tough, so it gives me a purpose I can rest in.
Ren bites off the ill feelings with correct conclusions, but as the song suggests, this is a lifetime battle that won't be so easily won. And so the little voice goes from defensive to offensive.
Man, you sound so pretentious. Ren, your music is so self-centered. No one wants to hear another song about how much you hate yourself. Trust me. You should be so lucky, having me inside you to guide you, remind you to manage expectations, provide you perspective. That thing you neglected, I get it. You wanna be a big deal, next Jimi Hendrix, forget it. Man, it's not like that. Man, it's just like that. I'm inside you, you twat. No, it's not, man, you're wrong. When I write, I belong. Let me break the fourth wall by acknowledging this song. Ren sits down, has a stroke of genius. He wants to write a song that was not done previous. A battle with the subconscious, Eminem did it. Played on guitar. Plan B did it. Man, you're not original, you criminal rip-off artist. The pinnacle of your success is stealing other people's material. Ren, mate, we've heard it all before. She sells seashells on the seashore.
They say there is nothing new under the sun, and this holds true for music too. The little voice breaking him down to nothing more than a rip-off, reminding him of his own insecurities of not being good enough. It's almost like we're seeing all the dastardly tried-out tactics of a narcissist, but the damage is in his own head.
Fuck you, I don't need you, I don't need to hear this. Cause I'm fine by myself, I'm a genius. And I will be great, and I will make waves, and I'll shake up the whole world beneath us.
Finally, some fight back.
That's right, speak your truth, your fucking god complex leaks out of you. It's refreshing to actually hear you say it instead of downplay it.
Music is all about the creative process, and if people can find something to relate to within that, then that's just a bonus.
And we're back to gaslighting. All this to get what it really wants.
Fuck you, I'ma fucking kill you, Ren. Well, fucking kill me then, let's fucking have you, Ren. I'ma do it, watch me prove it. Who are you to doubt my music? Cause I call the shots, I choose if you die. Yeah, I call the shots and so I choose who survives. I'll tie you up in knots when I lock you inside.
A blind reaction, Ren lashing out and making threats as emotional hijacking then takes place. As we get into the bridge, there is a shift in the lighting. Ren is covered in darkness and he's engulfed by the little voice.
Newsflash. I was created at the dawn of creation. I am temptation. I am the snake in Eden. I am the reason for treason, beheading all kings. I am sin, with no rhyme or reason. Son of the morning, Lucifer, Antichrist, father of lies. Mustopheles, truth in a blender, deceit.
Notice how the lamps are now flashing on and off, emphasising the point that they are one and the same.
I live in every decision that catalyzes chaos, that causes division. I live inside death, the beginning of ends. I am you, you are me, I am you, friend.
The chaos inside his mind becoming more and more frantic as he turns from plucking to chords to barely coherent music, until finally it all washes away. And when Ren finally responds, the lights are back on as he accepts himself.
Hi, Ren. I've been taking some time to be distant. I've been taking some time to be still. I've been taking some time to be by myself, and I've spent half my life ill. But just as sure as the tide starts turning, just as sure as the night has dawned, just as sure as the rainfall soon runs dry when you stand in an eye of a storm. I was made to be tested and twisted. I was made to be broken and beat. I was made by his hand, it's all part of his plan that I stand on my own 2 feet. And you know me, my will is eternal. And you know me, you've met me before. Face to face with a beast, I will rise from the east and I'll settle on the ocean floor. And I go by many names also. Some people know me as hope. Some people know me as the voice that you hear when you loosen the noose on the rope. And you know how I know that I'll prosper? 'Cause I stand here beside you today. I have stood in the flames that cremated my brain, and I didn't once flinch or shake. So cower at the man I've become when I sing from the top of my lungs, that I won't retire, I'll stand in your fire, inspired that me to be strong. And when I am gone I will rise in the music that I left behind. Ferocious, persistent, immortal like you, irrecoimed different side.
All of himself. Usually in my videos, I like to conclude with my own thoughts and observations, but it turns out that Ren had posted something of his own thoughts. So I'd like to read that for you instead. Up until I was 9 years old, I would intermittently hear voices in my head that were not my own. The voice was distinctly different to mine, and always negative. It would self-criticise or urge me to do things I knew to be morally wrong. The most peculiar thing about the voice was that it took no effort on my behalf to produce. My own thoughts always felt like there was a process that required effort to bring them to the forefront of my mind. This voice appeared as though it was spoken by another. The sentences felt predetermined, like they had already been constructed. I remember very vividly at 9 years old, becoming very frustrated with the voice. I stood in my backyard, internally screaming at the voice to be silent again and again, and it did. In a flash, there was silence, to the point where my head felt like an empty room. I wasn't used to the quiet, and the voice never returned. It almost felt lonely in my head. When I got older, I had intermittent bouts of auditory hallucinations where I would hear perfect symphonies, usually at night when drifting off to sleep. They were so clear, they sounded like they were emanating from the radio in the corner of my room. I knew they weren't there, but for some reason they never came with the feeling of fear. I also recall sitting on a bus at the age of 15 and hearing the sound of a crowded room with about 100 voices chattering away. I was the only person apart from the driver on the bus. These experiences were always very brief and few and far between. My last hallucination was during an intense bout of psychosis in 2015 and was my first visual hallucination. I was walking down a pavement after jumping out of my mum's car in a crossroads in a moment of frustration and distress with my condition. I was also trying to run from myself. What appeared to be a homeless man with a dark complexion approached me and asked me what was wrong. I explained that I'd been sick for most of my life and I wasn't sure I had the strength to continue. He looked at me and smiled and told me, "Everything's going to be okay in the end, Ren." I had not told him my name. There was something overpoweringly sincere about his very simple message, which brought with it an overwhelming feeling of inner peace. And in a flash, he vanished. My rational brain always linked these experiences to what the doctors have told me, that there are parts of my brain compromised by the autoimmunity in my body, that my myelin sheaths surrounding the complex electrical system that conduct my thoughts were damaged and compromised, causing these lucid experiences that I knew did not exist inside the physical world. The part of me that edges away from logical and rational thought always attributed these thoughts to some kind of otherworldly intervention that made my thoughts the battleground of some spiritual tug of war. For a long time, I never really acknowledged this part of myself, for with it brought the danger and stigma of sounding like a crazy person. I decided with my last release to be the best of my ability, to capture and express this chess match of thought. Finally, mental health and mental fortitude appears to be a growing problem in the modern world, and Ren is a shining light on it by sharing his own struggles in a supremely intelligent and creative way. So to end, I want to reiterate that these were my observations of the art, which is where the genius lies. If you are unfamiliar with Ren or his work, please watch the full video, which I have linked below, and check out his other stuff. Until next time, thanks for watching.
It was never really a battle for me to win. It was an eternal dance. And like a dance, the more rigid I became, the harder it got. The more I cursed my clumsy footsteps, the more I struggled. So I got older, and I learned to relax. And I learned to soften, and that dance got easier. It is this eternal dance that separates human beings from angels, from demons, from gods. And I must not forget, we must not forget, that we are human beings.